It's too easy. What's up, guys? This is Chris from Pacific Agile, and I'm all about Agile and lean change management. And if that's something you're interested in, then consider subscribing. In my last video, I discussed the differences between the mindset and methodology of Agile. Today, I'm going to do my best to elaborate on the manifesto in just 10 minutes. This is a big task, especially when I find the discussion usually consumes the better part of an hour. So my promise to you is this. Write me back with your questions, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And you never know. If there's enough interest in a particular topic, then I just might put together another video. So where did the Agile Manifesto come from? Well, a quick Google search will give you the answer to this question, as the good folks at the Agile Manifesto.org crafted this masterpiece way back in 2001. And it makes sense that the manifesto would get crafted shortly after the global Y2K initiative. Everybody was so amped up worrying about the year 2000. And I can assure you, as a developer back then, we had our gut full of waterfall project management. So here we go. If communication is king, then the first key value could possibly be the most important one, where individuals and interactions are valued over processes and tools. So what makes this one so important? The answer seems obvious, but good Lord, I have just seen too many Scrum Masters struggle to answer this question. And the answer is simple, so that the team can have a common understanding of what is required and the challenges they face as a team. This is also why the daily stand-up is so valuable, where the team comes together and within 15 minutes everybody is up to speed on what they completed yesterday, what they're working on today, and any blockers. A mature team usually wraps up in less than 10 minutes and then they're back to work. And let's not forget, you either have work or you have meetings. You cannot have both. So please stop the madness with formal sit-down meetings. Like, if you don't have anything else to do, then yeah, have a meeting. Okay, the second key value is 100% focused on IT projects. So if IT projects isn't part of your world, you can advance the video to my posted timestamp right here, where I pick up on the third key value, which is applicable to all professionals. So back in the 90s, I began my career as a programmer and analyst. And we already knew then that a comprehensive document was outdated shortly after being considered complete. Requirements have their own life cycle. They get written, reviewed, revised, and the whole process repeats on itself until the stakeholders approve. Typically, this process takes anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks, at which point everything is supposed to get locked down. This is logical and works great for most projects, but actually doesn't work so well for IT projects. To start a project where you have the development team waiting 4 to 8 weeks is a big time waster, especially since the requirement document doesn't fully understand what's going on within the codebase. Now, I've been brought in to help projects where they are literally stuffed up because the requirements are too complex, where the solution is either evolving or loaded with too many unknowns. This is known as paralysis to over-analysis, and the solution is too easy. I start by engaging the team and asking them where they would like to start. Which feature do you think is the best place to begin? Every time I ask this, the project team is all too happy to give me a solid answer, and that's where we start. Typically, within the next 10 business days, we have something we can showcase. And we need to remember that working software is more engaging. It demonstrates progress and lets the touchy-feely people take it for a test drive. And the visual learners get a better understanding too. It also helps cut through the complexity and establishes a baseline for the rest of the initiative. So you need to be aware that software is infamous for changing during a project, which is why IT projects fall into the complex category. And all too often, I hear somebody misrepresent this key value and say something silly like, we don't need to plan since we will discover as we go, and that's iterative design. And I say, yeah, you need to rethink that one, buddy, because look, without a plan, how will you know how long it'll take? Sure, a mature product will go through tweaks and improvements, but is that really a project? Almost sounds like BAU work or, addressing technical depth. I believe all projects deserve a charter along with a timeline, so don't get fooled into thinking Agile doesn't plan. There is a lot of planning. And BAs rejoice. The Agile mindset towards requirements will actually make your job easier. Well, maybe just a little less stressful, and we can get into that another time. Okay, the third key value, this one's a really good one and should not be ignored because you will definitely get customer engagement and support when you're working together. Negotiations always feel dirty to me. It feels like somebody's trying to establish blame instead of engaging on trust. Customer collaboration leads to a common understanding, a shared vision, where you're sharing the journey. So you see, this third key value is a friendly reminder to have the right attitude towards having great customer collaboration, where the goal really is establishing a good working relationship so that you have an ally who understands your line of thinking, no longer an opponent. Now I know this fourth key value might feel a bit like a get out of jail free card for anyone who didn't put the pencil to the paper and did not show up with a plan, but it is still as critical as the other values, especially in IT where we know the environment is complex and founded on cause and effect. As IT managers, we need to manage expectations, and that involves responding to change. Fight it, resist it, but you will have to address it whenever someone on the team makes a discovery that changes the collective understanding of what the project is pursuing. Maybe the solution architect diagram needs to be modified. Maybe the intel you received from a subject matter expert turned out to be wrong, or the vendor hit the pause button on your request. It happens, and you will need to get in front of it. One thing I constantly hear during training sessions is that there is no planning with Agile. And when I dig deeper, I often hear a horror story where the Scrum Master who was leading the team literally took them down the rabbit hole and held on to this argument. I'm here to say this is 100% incorrect. Could you imagine working on a project without a plan? How would you know you delivered what the customer wants? Do you run the project simply until the money runs out? Was that a success? Look, every project needs to have goals. It would be a gross mistake to start a project without a plan, and whenever I hear a story from the front line where this is going on, it makes me angry and a little sad, because the reason I believe this is happening is as a result of rushed training where the Scrum Master doesn't have the experience to know better. Don't be this guy, the one walking around telling people, oh, we don't need a plan, we're practicing Agile. Look, ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance leads to bad experiences for everybody involved. So bad, rookie, bad. You need to have a plan that can demonstrate how long the project will take, and that can be managed with a burn down chart. It's too easy. Which leads me to the disclaimer that so many people tend to overlook. And it reads, while there is value in the items on the right, we value the items on the left more. Which really means, based on the initiative, you may need to ramp up in one of the areas on the right-hand side. And whatever you do, don't neglect your obligations to auditors. So here it is, the 4 key values that every Scrum Master should know. So if you find yourself interviewing for a Scrum Master, you can easily weed out the pretenders by simply asking them to explain the Agile Manifesto. And if you want to test them, ask them about the Scrum Manifesto, because there isn't one. So tell me what you think. You can reach me at pacificagile.com, where I'd be happy to get your feedback. And if you enjoyed the video, then give me a thumbs up and watch my channel for more videos. Thanks. Bye.